The Zeltharian Emperor's laughter echoed through the crystalline halls of his palace as he signed the marriage contract. His daughter Aesel, soft, round, and utterly unmarriageable by Zeltharian standards, would finally be someone else's problem. The human mechanic who'd fixed his flagship had requested a bride as payment, and what better joke than to send him the one daughter no nobleman would touch. Aesel stood before the transport ship with her meager belongings, her violet skin flushed with shame. She'd heard the whispers her entire life. Too heavy, too soft, no edges. Zeltharians prized sharp angles and lean frames, proof of discipline and control. She was neither. The human settlement on Barrack 7 was nothing like the gleaming spires of her homeworld. It was dust, machinery, and the smell of welding torch and oil. Farai emerged from beneath a half-assembled freighter, his coveralls stained, his dark hair wild. He wiped grease from his hands and stared. "You're a Sil?" His voice carried no mockery, only surprise. She lifted her chin, preparing for the inevitable disappointment. "Yes, I understand this arrangement was unconventional. If you wish to void the contract—" "Void it?" Farad's face broke into a grin that transformed his gruff features. "Your father actually kept his word? I thought he'd send an empty ship." Aesel blinked. You wanted this arrangement? Wanted? Lady, I've been around the galaxy 3 times over, seen every species, every culture. You know what I learned?" He stepped closer and she caught the scent of metal and something warm. Honest sweat from honest work. That Zeltharian beauty standards are garbage. Her mouth fell open. Farad continued, circling her with an appraising eye that held none of the disgust she'd expected. Humans appreciate softness, curves, someone who actually looks like they enjoy a good meal. Your people are so busy starving themselves into perfection, they forgot what health looks like. "I don't understand," Asil whispered. "You truly find me acceptable?" "Acceptable?" Farah laughed, a sound like thunder that made her hearts flutter. "Lady, you're gorgeous. Built like the ancient fertility goddesses from Earth. My grandmother would say you look like you could bear strong children and still have energy to run a household." He paused. "Not that I'm assuming, I mean the contract says marriage. But we can figure out what that means for us." For the first time in her life, Asil felt something unfamiliar bloom in her chest. Hope. The following weeks shattered every assumption she'd held. Farah worked from dawn until dusk, but never without sharing his meals with her. Real meals, not the calculated portions of her homeworld, but hearty stews and fresh bread. He asked her opinions on ship designs, listened when she suggested improvements to his filtration systems. "You studied engineering?" he asked one evening, grease smudged on his cheek. "Before my father decided I was unmarriageable, he thought education wasted on someone like me." She traced a finger along the blueprint. "This coupling here, it's inefficient. If you route the plasma conduit through the secondary chamber instead, you'll increase output by 15%. Faraz studied the design, then looked at her with something like wonder. "You're brilliant." "I'm fat," she replied automatically, the old defense mechanism. "You're brilliant and beautiful, and those things aren't mutually exclusive." He caught her hand. "Your father's an idiot, Asil. He threw away a treasure because he couldn't see past his own shallow standards." The real test came when a Zeltharian diplomatic vessel arrived 3 months later. Ambassador Krill emerged, his frame knife-thin, his expression contemptuous as he surveyed the dusty settlement. "I've come to check on the Emperor's daughter," he announced. "Surely this arrangement has proven unsatisfactory." Aesel emerged from the workshop, her coveralls matching Farad's, her hands confident on the plasma wrench she carried. She'd gained weight, muscle from working alongside her husband, yes, but also the softness that came from finally eating without guilt. Krill's lip curled. "Princess, you've let yourself go completely. Return home. We'll find a way to dissolve this barbaric contract." "No." Aesel's voice rang clear. "I'm exactly where I belong. With this primitive mechanic. In this dust bowl?" Krill gestured dismissively. "You're royalty." "She's an engineer." Farah stepped beside her, his hand finding the small of her back. "And my partner. And the smartest person on this planet. We've increased settlement efficiency by 40%, Aesel added. Designed a new water reclamation system that 3 colonies have already purchased. And we're building something here, something real." Krill's eyes narrowed. "The Emperor will hear of this disgrace." "Tell him," Asil said, surprised by her own boldness. that his joke became my liberation. Tell him his fat daughter found a people who measure worth by contribution, not waistline. Tell him. She leaned into Farad's solid warmth. Tell him I'm happy. After Krill's ship departed, Farad pulled her close. Your father really sent you as a joke? He thought he was punishing us both. Farad's laugh rumbled through his chest. Then I'm grateful for his stupidity. You know what humans say? One man's trash is another man's treasure. He cupped her face. Except you were never trash. You were a treasure your people were too blind to recognize. Assel kissed him then, pouring every ounce of gratitude and growing love into it. Around them, the settlement hummed with life. Human colonists who'd welcomed her without judgment, who valued her mind and her contributions, who saw her as she'd never been seen before, whole. 6 months later, when her father sent an actual apology and a request for her to return, Assel composed her response carefully. Dear father, thank you for the opportunity you gave me, intentional or not. I've found a home among humans, a people who understand that strength comes in many forms, that beauty has infinite expressions, and that worth is measured by character, not silhouette. I'm building a life here, designing ships, raising a settlement, and loving a man who sees me as I am. Your joke became my joy. Your punishment became my paradise. I forgive you, but I will not return. Your fat daughter, Princess Assel, chief engineer of Barrack 7. She sealed it with Farah watching over her shoulder. Any regrets? He asked. Assel looked around their workshop at the half-finished projects and the life they were building together, at the man who'd wanted exactly what she was. Not a single one.